Okay, this cell balancing is taking an eternity, so I just want to get the cover back on. So what I've done is just extend some cables. So I've got cell, there you go, cell 18 group there, and 21, which are my sort of low ones. And then I've piggybacked on and just done 22 as a good reference, so I can check what they should be. I'm just going to put a bit of heat on this cover and bend it back down and get the cover on. One handy little thing. Love having a 3D printer. Just design these up quickly, just to cover that terminal, keep things safe. So when I was putting the big metal cover on, I was a bit nervous about shorting across them, even though the power is removed, but you know, could never be too safe. Right, so that's the body back down in position after some bracing. So I've this is all by measurement, the holes, so they're equally spaced, these two cross braces. It has definitely popped up the roof a bit. I think this was more or less flush with the bottom of the metal frame, so maybe 10 mil. I think I need to reinforce the bit of framework sort of in the middle. It's sort of got a bit of a bow that way. It's extremely close to the B pillar bar at the bottom there, so there's a bit more space on that side. It's also very close on the front A pillar. I think I might have to do a bit of fettling. We'll see. Yeah, and this has definitely popped up. I need to try the rear screen again, and obviously you can see that the track width is not so much extra of the eyebrow over the tyre coverage now, but it's the right thing to do, so keep plugging away. I think I'm going to leave it like that to relax a little bit. For some reason the gap on the B pillar just along the front there is a bit more than those actually. Oh no, it's the same on both sides. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let the body sit for a while. Plastic does sort of, well, fiberglass does creep, so see what happens. Okay, a bit of one-handed action, but after a fair amount of fettling, I've got that, so I think that's bang on really. So the curvature of the body must be right. It's sitting much nicer. You can see there's a gap behind the, well, either side of the the main roll hoop without any fettling. I was worrying that it was catching on like the little seal recess. It's on the other side. I'm not chancing dropping this glass. But yeah, no, really happy with that. That was worthwhile. The other little bonus is that the rear bumper fits a lot better to the profile. Before it was sort of touching at the front corner, but now it's much closer all the way around. So what I actually did was lift it up, the whole car up on the ramp with those braces in place, and just with the angle grinder I just trimmed away the inner arches just until there was no tension on the body, because that's what the whole body was just being pinched on the inner arch around this sort of area mostly, but actually all the way across, even to there in some places. So that's what was stopping the body pop up. And also for some reason the body wanted to slide forwards, so I've just done a bit of clearancing of the body on the front so it can be pulled back hard up against the B pillar. You can see there. It seems much happier now. Right, body off again. So I think I've figured out what's happening. You can see these rubbing marks of the body. And if you look up here or up there, you can see that little step in the body for the door seal is catching on here. So now the body's in a narrow position. Well, when I clamp it forward, it's touching on that edge and shuffling the body forwards a little bit. Hence the gap. And when I was pulling the body back, it was widening it again at the top. So again, I just want to get the body in a position where it's not under tension, because obviously that'll be where it wants to be. So what I think I've done, it's only a 6mm interference there. So what I'm going to do is slice these at the bottom, pull the base of the feet over, probably 10mm aside. I also measured the gap above here, and also the body did seem to have a bit of a downward tilt when it was sitting on these bars. So what I'm going to do is just take a sliver off the top. Well, it's not so much a sliver, it's 15mm. So I'm going to take 15mm off the top of that, bring the body back down to where it wants to be, and then start rethinking the body mounts. Because obviously if well, I could redo the spine for the door hinges, that they're obviously not finalised yet, but I want those mounts right up as close to the spine, the body top as possible. That way you get the best amount of clearance, well, as it swings up. So anyway, yeah, time for some cutting. That weak cell's still on charge. It's over halfway there now, but it'll probably take another week to get there. Okay, just another quick couple of checks with the new body sort of form that it's getting. So the scuttle's more curved, so the bonnet's getting a nicer curvature. It's distorted a bit just from being stored upright. And also the screen. So it's actually the first time I've tried this screen. It was Ratchet's screen I borrowed last time. But this, it wants to go in almost like that. That's a really good improvement, I think. So I'm even yeah, I'm not nervous about it just sitting there because it's just where it wants to go. So yeah, all good. So now I'll finalise the position and start fixing onto the steel strips down here, and then rebond in the fiberglass bits at the four corners, and also weld in the roll cage in its slightly tweaked position. You can see that ratchet strap just putting them together a little bit. Right, and that's the body position fixed again. So I've gone down a size just with button heads to them 6s, like I said. I've just done the 3 for the moment, because I'll drill through the sill panel, and this one at the same time for the final positions. These might be a bit awkward to mark, but I'll get it done. And then the base of the B pillar roll bar I've just tacked in place. Gonna have to extend the feet, or the base plates. That should be fine. But yeah, it took a fair bit of running around all the corners, just fettling, fine-tuning the position. And also this recess isn't actually a straight line. So from my garage build, I got my chalk snap line. You can see there, it sort of goes a bit higher and a bit low at the back. Well, back to the same as the front. So I'll probably have to do some fettling of that trim line when it comes to it. But yeah, much happier with how that side's looking. Nice and sort of, well, very gentle curve, but nice and even all the way back. So, well worth it. So that, and the fact that all the glass is fitting a lot nicer now, definitely worth the backward step. Here's another very quick walk around. So that's the body set at
the air ride height. It's not low or dumped, so I think that's going to be quite good. Obviously glass just resting in place on the front. I've also got the seal on for the back, and again that's as expected really, sitting nicely. And the other bonus is that as I've clamped it together, the sides of the body, it's actually dropped over 20 mil at the sides. So what's that's done is the lower sill sections, as I set them, well, they're kicking out at the bottom a little bit. Don't know if you can really see that. So I'll have to narrow them a little bit at the bottom. But they've ended up flush with the body mounts. So that's a real win. So I'll probably make up some fixings to go onto the side of the body mounts. I think once the trim is on, which the top will be on that blue snap line roughly, so that'll cover the join. And a lot of the images I've seen, the side trim sort of points to the middle of the wheel, and that's even a bit lower, so that's bang on. A little bit higher at the back to give it a bit of slight rake, but yeah, you can see from this angle how the rear's gone wider. But luckily the camber does actually tuck into the body as you lower it down. But yeah, it's definitely getting there. Worth the pain. Okay, so I went to bond these in and then just ran around, did a bit of a final check, put it up in the air, only to look at the metal strips or the angle down the side when it was up on the lift, and they were quite bowed. So I think just the action of sandwiching squishing the sides of the body in was sort of moving the angle around. So that's all nice and straightened now. They follow, well, they're not quite level with the bottom of the body, but at least they're straight. They're both straight lines. There's a mil or two misalignment just between where I'd had it mounted before and now. But as the original cars were never straight, you can't expect this to be straight either. So I've got the front and the rear right, all set at 670 mil from the ground to the bottom of the arch, and double checking the door base at the back, well, on both sides, that is now within a millimetre of each other. So that just leaves the rear left arch, which is about 7 mil high compared to the others. But that is, I'll use my profile gauge here, look. We can see so that's gone on the tyre and the wheel. The arch is different to the side to side. What was throwing me as well is because I'd set up these B-pillar posts relative to the body before, that's a fairly decent clearance. And that side's much tighter, but actually they're different. Obviously I set them up to the body, so I'll have to redo one of those. Anyway, so at least the body's set. Another little trick I did, don't know if you can just about see that bolt there. That's one of the original rear door hinge mounts. So I've used it as an adjustable spacer to set this strip and hold it nice and straight, which it is. I'm much happy with how the body's sitting now. As I've said, so I think I'll call this video here. It's been very frustrating, lots of back and forwards, lots of measuring, remeasuring, measuring again, but it's getting there.